Hello friends, welcome to another session of the Mega Menu Pro and Header Builder for Edge. In the previous lesson, we took a look at how to build this header. We took this header from the basic appearance to a beautiful appearance like this. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at dropdowns. So we're going to be focusing on dropdown positioning, alignment, and dropdown sizing. So if you haven't seen the previous video, take a look at the top right corner of your screen and I'm going to put a link there. So if you haven't yet gotten your copy of the Mega Menu Pro and Header Builder for Edge, and you want to have a feel of how it looks and you want to test it out, you could come here to edge.designwithcracker.com. This is an interactive playground. It's a front-end interactive playground that allows you to see in real time the features and some of the features of this navigation and header builder. So for example, if you want to change the menu mode to off canvas mode, you could just do that and you see it right there. If you want it to be full screen, you could just check it out and you see full screen. If you want to reset it, set it back. If you want centered logo, so all these are features of the header builder and the Mega Menu Pro. So I'm just going to reset all that. So come to edge.designwithcracker and take a look at it. And before time runs out, you can get a 15% off the LTD or get a subscription. The dropdown has a couple of options for alignment, and by default, the next table dropdown aligns to the left of its parent element, its parent dropdown item, and the Mega Menu by default aligns to the center of the header. So those are the default, but you can align them either to the right of its parent or to the center of its parent. For example, if I want to align this drop down to the right of its parent item, I can go to this drop down, select it, and then I'm going to go down to general, and under alignment, I want to align it to the right. I'll save that and look at the front end, and it's going to align to the right. If I want to align it to the center, I can do the same thing, take it to the center. So the center of its parent item, you can see it aligns to the center of its parent item. Now for the same thing for the Mega Menu, if I want to align this Mega Menu to let's say the left of its item instead of the default aligning to the center of the header, I can go down here and just align it to the left of its parent. You can see it aligns to the left. Now the reason it's not aligning to exact left is because it's trying to avoid overflowing the viewport width. So it's intelligent enough to know that if it is going to collide or overflow, you can see there is no horizontal scroll bar, meaning it has succeeded in evading that overflow by moving it a little bit. Now if I zoom out to have enough space, you can see that it perfectly aligns to the left of its parent like we set it to be. So this is an intelligent system that prevents issues like that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it at 90% zoom here. All right, you see this one still aligns to the center of the header. So I'm going to take that back to default. So that is how you set the alignment of the drop down. Now let's look at positioning. So what do I mean by positioning? I'm talking about the vertical positioning. Let's use this. Let's assume that this was an object that we didn't want this drop down to cover, and we wanted it to start from here downwards. If you take a look at this, I've given this a class of sample bar. When it comes to vertical positioning, you can't just do one of them. It has to be all of them because it's going to look stupid to have one drop down go below a specific vertical positioning and the others are different. So in this case, you want to go to the nav for the general drop down settings. I'm going to go down to drop down, and all the way down here, I'm going to see drop down vertical alignment, and it aligns the drop down top to the bottom of any selector. So that by default, it aligns to the DWC nest header, which is this element. See this element is the DWC nest header, as you can see here. So the drop down aligns, the top of the drop down aligns to the bottom of that element. The reason we have a gap here is because we already have set a gap of 10 pixels. So I'm going to take that gap off and I'm going to save that, and let's look at that again. So we can now see that all the drop down aligns strictly to the top, to the bottom of that element. That is the default. But what if we wanted to align to the bottom of this? So I'm going to come here where you have the drop down vertical alignment. I'm going to put that sample bar. That was the name of the class. of that element. And I'm going to save, and we'll look at it at the front end. So look, it aligns to the just exactly at the bottom of that element. So this is useful for people that you have multi-row headers and you want your drop down to align at a specific row. You can define exactly what position you want to. You see that we don't even lose focus, like we don't lose the element, you know, so it doesn't matter how far away it is, we still don't lose it, you know, so you don't have to try and run fast down to it. So yeah, so this is very, very cool. You know, see, I'm clicking, I'm not losing it until you go out of it or you go out of it. All right, so that is how to position it vertically. Now I'm going to take away that so everything goes back to the same positioning. I'm return my 10 pixel gap. And take note, you can always add a gap if you want. Like if you want it to be there plus 10 pixel, okay, you can actually do that. So it will align and then it would still give the 10 pixel gap. Full control. This is really powerful. I'm going to save that. Now the next thing we're going to look at is the sizing. So let's start with the drop down. Okay, so I'm going to go to this drop down and I'm going to go to the drop down width. You can see that we have 350 here. But what if I want it to be 250? I can just change the width from here. This is the nested drop down. You can see the width has changed to 250. But I'm going to return that to 350. Now, if I click on this, you can see that this has its own default width. So the default width is, I think it's around 250 or so. That is the default width, but you can add your own width. Let's say I want it to be 300 pixels. And you can see it's 300 pixels now. All right, I'm going to take that off. Now, those are for the nested drop down. But if I click on the mega menu, you can see that we have the mega menu. All right, so with default, let's say I want it to be 500. You can see it gives me 500. All right, so you see we have 500. It's aligning, yeah, to the center of the header. That is really nice. Let's take away that 500. Now, what if I wanted it to be full width? If I want it to be full width, I can write 100 VW and save it. It's 100% viewport width. But what if I want the content, the inner content, to remain like the width? You know, like var content. Okay, so I could, like the inner content width, I could just say maybe 1200 pixels. Now we're going to have the full width, but the contents will be contained within the specified width. So let's say you wanted this to be full width, completely full width. All right. Yeah, that's zooming out. I messed with it a little bit. So now we see it's full width complete. And you want this to be your content width. So if you have a variable like var content width, but if you had ACSS, you could give this inner width var content width, and you have a full width, and you are, you know, this can be the content width, the inner content. So I'm going to take that out. But another way you could do it is, what if you want it to be exactly the width of this header? So this header is DWC nest header. So if you want it to be exactly the width of this header, for example, let's say this one we want it to be exactly, we could add a selector also instead of giving a width. So we could say .dwc-nest header, and it's gonna take the width of this selector. So I'm gonna save it, and you see its exact width as this selector. But let's say we didn't want to set them individually, so I'm gonna just take that out. Now notice that the individual setting will always override a global setting. So we have this has a width of 1360 set to it. So what if I remove that 1360 and save, and then go to the front end? You see it's now a little bit less than 1360. You know, both of them appear to be almost the same width. Now if we go to the nav elements, under drop down, we can see the global nested drop down width, which is for this. So the nested drop down width, if you don't want to set individual width for it, you could give it a global width, and the global default width here is 200 pixels. That means this did not have its own setting, so it's going to respect the global width. Now this is the global mega menu width. You can also, it could also take selector. So let's say we wanted it to be the width of the header. I could just say header. So it's going to pick up the first tag, the first header tag, and set the width to be the width of that header. So I'm going to now notice that the header element is a tag. This is the header element. So the header is actually full width. If you can notice here, you can see that the header is full width. So if we refresh, that's another way of getting the full width. You can see that both of them respect that global width. But we could go into the individual and set the inner width if we wanted to. So that's everything you need to know about positioning, sizing, and alignment of the mega menu dropdown elements, both the mega menu dropdown and the nested dropdown. So go ahead and hit the like button if you like this video, and also check out the Mega Menu Pro. Get it. You can go to h.designwithcracker.com and you can see the link for the subscription and the link for the LTD. This is a very few slots. Once the slot is filled, this will go to the normal price. So in the subsequent videos, we're going to bring you more features, how to configure other aspects of the Mega Menu Pro. You can see this has a very beautiful animation. It's very easy to set up. If you come here, all you need to do is to go to the navigation element and just turn on stripe style, so you can see how one animates from the one width to the width of the other. All right, so go ahead and let me know in the comment section what you think about this navigation, and if there are other features you would like to see, let me know in the comment section. Until next time, do have a great day. Bye.